Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to The Sleep Boring History. A special welcome if you're new here. Wherever you are, whatever your day is held, I invite you to get comfortable, dim the lights, and let yourself be carried away by tonight's story. This is your time to unwind, to escape, and to find a deep sense of peace. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and share it to all your friends. Thanks a lot. So let's start the story. Tonight the sleepy story name is The Life of a Cherry Blossom Tree Part 1. The dreaming seed. The darkness is absolute, warm, and heavy. This is not an empty void, but a rich, nurturing blanket of soil that has held life for millennia. You are a single cherry blossom seed, a smooth, hard capsule no bigger than a pebble. Your world is this quiet, pressurized darkness. There is no concept of up or down, no sense of time passing in hours or days. Time here is measured in the slow, geological pulse of the earth itself. Inside your hard shell, everything you will ever become, the towering trunk, the spreading branches, the clouds of pink blossoms, exists only as a silent, compressed dream. You are pure potential energy. A story waiting for its first word. The soil around you is alive with quiet activity, thread-like mycelium networks passing secret messages, tiny organisms recycling life, groundwater moving with imperceptible slowness. You are part of this hidden ecosystem, though you do not yet know it. Then, the first change begins. It starts not with a sound, but with a feeling, a subtle shift in pressure, a faint vibration traveling through the dense soil. Far above, in a world you cannot imagine, spring has arrived. The thaw has begun. Melting snow and gentle rains seep downward, droplet by droplet, navigating the labyrinth of earth. A single bead of moisture finds your shell. It rests there, a cool, liquid kiss. Then another joins it. The water does not assault your hardness, it performs a slow, patient alchemy. It softens you. It penetrates the microscopic pores of your shell, carrying with it not just water, but a chemical message, a wake-up call written in the language of life. Within your core, something stirs. The dormant spark of life flickers. Biochemical signals fire. The stored starches and proteins that have slept for months begin to mobilize. Your embryo awakens. The first movement is downward. A tiny, white radical, your first root, breaks free from within you. It is delicate, almost translucent, yet driven by an ancient, uncompromising instinct. It does not search for a path, it knows the path. It grows downward, drawn by gravity and the promise of moisture, seeking anchorage in the stable, nourishing darkness. Simultaneously, another force awakens, pulling in the opposite direction. The plumule, your first shoot, senses what the root cannot, a faint, mysterious pull from above. It is not gravity, but something else, a subtle increase in temperature, a distant chemical signal, perhaps even the faint pressure of light filtering through centimeters of soil. It yearns upward, toward the unknown. Now you are no longer a single point. You are an axis of tension, a living bridge between the dark earth and the distant light. You are the embodiment of a fundamental life process, the simultaneous reaching for stability and the reaching for possibility. The deep, ancestral wisdom in your cells understands that to survive, you must anchor yourself in the reliable past, the soil, while striving toward the uncertain future, the light. This is your entire existence in this moment, a silent, monumental effort happening in slow motion. There is no struggle, only inevitable unfolding. You are becoming. You are transitioning from what you were, a seed, to what you will be, a seedling. Every molecule in your being is focused on this single, sacred task. The darkness around you is no longer just an absence of light, it is the cocoon of your transformation. The soil is no longer just dirt, it is the midwife of your birth. You are cradled, supported, and nourished by the very world you are preparing to break free from. This is the profound paradox of beginnings, total dependence and total potential existing in the same moment. You are both utterly vulnerable and infinitely powerful. And in this warm, silent, dark space, you rest in the peace of. Part 2. First contact. The pull from above has become a physical ache, a compass needle in your cells trembling toward true north. The pale shoot, no longer just a concept but a living extension of your being, pushes upward with gentle, insistent pressure. Each millimeter of growth is a negotiation with the earth. You are a miner of air, digging your way not through rock, but through a universe of crumbling soil, tiny stones, and the tangled, ghostly webs of last year's roots. Your world is tactile. You learn the geography of the dark through touch. A smooth pebble is a mountain you must contour around. A dense patch of clay is a continent you must patiently penetrate. An ancient oak root is a buried monument you respectfully navigate. There is no rushing. Growth here is a form of conversation. You push, the earth yields or resists, and you respond. You are learning resilience not through force, but through adaptive grace. Then, the texture changes. The soil becomes less compact, cooler, grainier. A new sensation whispers against your tip, a faint, cool movement. Air. It is not the still, moist air of the soil pores. This is different. It flows. It carries unfamiliar scents, the sharp tang of ozone from a recent rain, the sweet decay of leaf litter, something floral and distant. It frightens you with its vastness, this absence of pressure from all sides. The light pull intensifies from a suggestion to a command. It is no longer just a thermal clue, it is a direction. Your cells, primed by millennia of genetic memory, know what to do. You gather your resources. The final push is not a violent rupture, but a graceful emergence. You break the surface, sensation overwhelms you. First, the shocking coolness of open air flowing over your damp tip. Then, the touch of something unimaginable, a warmth that pours over you like liquid gold, soaking into your tissues with a radiance that feels like love. The sun. Its light is a physical presence, a warmth that reaches deeper than the soil's heat, energizing you at a molecular level. You are born, you stand, a tiny, pale green hook against the colossal blue bowl of the sky. You are utterly exposed. The wind, which before was just a rumor, now tests you, a gentle but firm hand that could easily undo you. You bend. You learn your first lesson of this new world. Flexibility is the price of standing tall. Around you, the forest is a symphony of terrifying and wonderful noise, the rustle of leaves, real leaves, on real trees, the chirp of insects, the distant call of a bird. You are a newborn in a giant's world. But within you, a profound change is already locking into place. Photosynthesis begins. The sunlight is no longer just warmth, it is food. It is the currency of this new existence. You have made first contact. The dialogue between you and the universe has now truly begun, and your first word, written in chlorophyll and light, is a silent, grateful yes. Part 3, Tiny Green Hands. Now, your life is ruled by the sun's arc. Dawn is a silent alarm, a gentle warming that coaxes your cells to activity. Noon is a bath of intense energy. Dusk is a slow cooling, a signal to rest. You are a solar instrument, and your stem, stronger now, tinged with a determined green, is your axis. Just below your crown, where the sun's kiss is most direct, two symmetrical swellings appear. These are not accidents, they are the fulfillment of a plan written in your seed. They are your first true leaves, still bundled tight as sleeping butterflies. The sun coaxes them. Day by day, the tightly wound bundles relax. The process is achingly slow, a silent unfolding more profound than any flower's bloom. One morning, a seam along one bundle parts. A sliver of a deeper, more vibrant green peeks out, soft as a newborn's eyelid. The unfurling is a silent ballet. The leaf, guided by microscopic hydraulic pressure and the pursuit of light, slowly opens itself to the world. It reveals itself not as a solid shape, but as an intricate network, a central vein like a main river, branching into smaller tributaries, and again into capillaries finer than silk thread. This is your circulatory system for light. The second leaf follows, a mirror image, opening opposite its twin. They are perfect. They are miniature, heart-shaped hands held up to the sky in silent praise. Their surface is matte, covered in a downy fuzz that catches the morning dew, turning each leaf into a galaxy of tiny, sparkling stars. With these leaves, your relationship with the world transforms. You are no longer just a passive recipient of light, you are an active participant in the alchemy of life. Sunlight falls on these green palms, and inside their cells, in chloroplasts like tiny emerald factories, the miracle happens. Light, water, and air are woven into sugar, the very substance of your growth. You are literally building yourself from sunlight. You have also entered the community of beings. An aphid, smaller than a grain of sand, explores the underside of a leaf, testing its tenderness. A gentle breeze now has surfaces to caress, creating a soft, rustling whisper, your first sound. A drop of rain no longer just hits you, it lands with a soft pat and rolls along the leaf's veins before falling. You have become a terrain, a habitat, a conversant in the language of wind and water. You have moved from simply being to interacting. Your tiny green hands are not just for catching light, they are for touching the world. Part 4, The Patient Rain. The air changes. It thickens, growing heavy with a promise you have not yet learned to name. The sharp, clean scents of the forest dull, replaced by a deeper, richer smell, the scent of damp stone and charged ozone. The light shifts from gold to a solemn, luminous gray, flattening the world into a silent tableau. You feel it first through your roots, a deep, subsonic tremor that travels through the soil's wet latticework. It is not a sound, but a vibration felt in your very core, thunder. A distant, ancient drumroll. The first warning is the wind. It does not blow as a breeze, but arrives as a breath held and then released, a sudden, cool exhalation that rushes through the forest canopy far above with a sound like the ocean. It finds you. It presses against your new leaves, not with violence, but with firm, testing pressure. Your instinct is to stand rigid, but your stem remembers the lesson of emergence. You bend. Your small form yields, flowing with the push, your leaves turning sideways to slip through the invisible current. The wind passes, and you sway back, upright. The lesson reinforces, resilience is not defiance, but intelligent surrender. Then, the first drop.it forms in the gray infinity above, a single, perfect sphere of collected sky. It falls, accelerating through the cool air, and lands with a soft, definitive pat on the center of your highest leaf. The impact is a shock, a cool, sudden weight that makes the entire leaf tremble. For a moment, the droplet holds its perfect dome shape, a magnifying glass distorting the leaf's veins beneath it. Then the sky opens. It is not a spray, nor a mist. It is a curtain of water, a steady, vertical descent that transforms the world into a monochrome of grays and soft, rushing sound. The rain drums 1,000 tiny rhythms on your leaves, a rapid, soothing percussion that drowns out all other forest whispers. Each leaf becomes a shallow cup, collecting the sky's gift until the weight overcomes surface tension, and the water spills over the edge in a miniature, silvery waterfall, cascading down your stem to the thirsty earth at your feet. You are immersed in a baptism of pure function. The rainwater washes away the fine layer of dust that had settled on you, leaving your leaves a vibrant, gleaming green. More importantly, you drink. You absorb moisture through the fine pores on your leaf surfaces, a direct, celestial infusion. Simultaneously, your roots below drink deeply from the rain-soaked soil, completing a sacred circuit, sky to leaf, leaf to stem, stem to root, root to earth. You are the conduit in a vertical river. This is not an ordeal, it is a nurturing. The storm holds no anger. It is the earth's great, patient watering system. The constant, rhythmic sound surrounds you, a white noise that erases complexity. There is only this moment, this cool, clean, endless falling. You are cleansed, fortified, and sung to by the oldest lullaby on earth. You learn that sometimes, the most powerful forces are not there to break you, but to make you new. Part 5, Moon's first lesson. The rain sighs to a stop. Drips fall from the high canopy in random, final notes. As the last light of day bleeds into indigo, a new presence asserts itself. It begins as a silvering of the clouds' ragged edges, then a brightening of the eastern sky. She rises, silent and inevitable. The moon, her light is a different language. The sun shouts in primary colors, the moon whispers in monochrome. Her glow is cool, intellectual, revealing the architecture of the world while stripping away its warmth. Under her gaze, your rain-wet leaves do not sparkle, they glow with a cold, internal fire, each droplet a captured star. Your shadow, sharp and black, is painted onto the ground behind you. You feel her influence not on your leaves, but deep within your sap. It is a subtle, gravitational tug, a gentle pressure on the internal tides of your being. While the sun commanded you to reach upward, to produce and expand, the moon's pull is inward and downward. She guides the growth of your roots in the cool, secret dark, encouraging them to stretch, explore, and anchor you more deeply into the dreaming earth. The night is not silent, it is a different kind of orchestra. A solitary cricket begins its rhythmic chirp, a metallic stitching of sound. From a great distance comes the low, questioning call of an owl. Who? A sound that seems to deepen the darkness around it. These are not disruptions, but the essential notes of the nocturne. You are not alone, you are part of the night shift of the world. The air cools dramatically, carrying new scents, the intense, damp perfume of the soil, the faint, sweet ghost of night blooming flowers. You breathe it in. This coolness is a tonic. It slows your inner processes, not toward dormancy, but toward integration. The day's furious photosynthesis must now be translated into solid growth, energy directed to strengthening your stem, thickening your cell walls. You learn the critical balance. The sun is for action, the moon is for assimilation. The day is for capturing energy, the night is for making it part of your structure. You stand under her silent, watchful eye, practicing the art of deep rest, a state that is not passive, but actively restorative. You are learning that to truly grow, you must also know how to be utterly, peacefully still. Part 6, The Squirrel's Lesson. The morning sun returns, warmer and more familiar after the moon's cool lesson. You are basking in the simple act of turning light into sugar when a new kind of shadow flickers across you, quick, jerky, and alive. A flash of russet fur, a puff of bushy tail, and then it is there, a red squirrel. It freezes on the moss a hand's breadth from your stem, one small forepaw lifted in mid-step. It's black, bead-like eyes lock onto you. You are a new object in its meticulously mapped territory. It approaches not with the slow grace of the moon's rise, but with twitchy, investigative curiosity. Its nose wrinkles, whiskers vibrating like sensing wires. It cocks its head. You are not food, not shelter yet. It needs to know what you are. A tiny, leathery paw, armed with fine, sharp claws, reaches out. It does not strike, but taps your stem once, twice. The sensation is a faint, percussive tremor traveling up your core. The squirrel leans in, sniffing your bark and leaves with intense focus. You can feel its warm breath. In this moment, you exist entirely within the sphere of its consciousness, a curiosity, a potential landmark, perhaps a future lookout post. Then, just as suddenly, the scrutiny ends. With a flick of its tail and a chittering sound that could be commentary or dismissal, it springs away, a blur of motion up the trunk of a giant oak. You are alone again, but the encounter lingers. You have received your first lesson in coexistence. The forest is not a static painting, it is a dynamic web of relationships. You are not just growing in the forest, you are becoming part of its community. You are a resting spot, a scent post, a piece of the landscape for other beings whose lives are a frantic scramble for nuts and survival. You learn that your presence has ripples. You provide a moment of pause for a squirrel, a drop of water for an insect, a speck of shade for a sprouting fern. You are beginning to understand your role. You are not the center of this world, but you are a valued point within its network, a young citizen learning that to belong means to be seen, touched, and sometimes, gently tested by your neighbors. Part 7, Standing Tall. Seasons have turned around you. You have drunk the melting snowmelt of spring, endured the focused heat of summer, and weathered the stripping winds of autumn. Now, you have known your first true winter. It was not death, but a profound drawing in. You felt the sap in your veins slow to a viscous crawl, retreating to the protected core of your roots and the thickest part of your stem. Snow settled on your bare, slender form, bending you into graceful white arcs, a lesson in bearing weight with quiet dignity. But the great wheel turns. The sun's path climbs higher. Its warmth, once a feeble touch, now presses with intention into the frozen ground. Deep in the earth, the signal is received. The sap tide begins. It is a rising song you feel from the roots up, a slow, sweet surge of life returning. It floods your pathways, swelling the buds that have slept like clenched fists along your length. You have grown. Your stem is no longer a fragile, pale wand. It has hardened into a trunk, slender still, but firm with fibrous wood. The soft green has given way to a tougher, reddish-brown bark, textured with the faintest beginnings of horizontal lenticels, your pores for breathing. You stand a full arm's length above the earth now. You are a sapling, your form has clarified. You have several sets of leaves now, arranged in elegant pairs along a central leader. You are not just a shoot, you have a structure. Your root system, a hidden mirror of your aerial self, has pushed deeper and wider, securing your claim on this patch of soil. The fern that sprouted beside you last year now nestles in your shade. The earth knows your roots, the air knows your shape. You have passed the trials of infancy. The storm did not break you. The snow did not crush you. The squirrel's curiosity did not uproot you. Each encounter has been woven into your fibers, adding not just size, but substance. There is a quiet confidence in your posture now. You do not sway wildly with every breeze, you move with a measured, rooted rhythm. You are no longer just surviving. You are establishing. You have become a permanent fact in this forest clearing. The birds glance at you as a potential future site. The moss creeps a little closer to your base. You have earned your place. You stand tall, not with arrogance, but with the simple, sturdy truth of a being that has met the world and found it could hold its ground. Part 8. Branching out. The singular, upward drive that defined your earliest days now diversifies. The energy surging through you seeks not just height, but breadth. At the very crown of your main stem, just below the terminal bud aiming for the sky, you feel a distinct, itching concentration of life. Two small, rounded buds, different from the pointed leaf buds, swell in the angle where your topmost leaves meet the trunk. This is the urge to claim your space. To hold more of the sky. Slowly, with deliberate force, two new limbs push out from your sides. These are your first true branches. They do not grow straight up like your leader, they reach east and west, horizontally, embracing the air to either side. Their growth is a careful balancing act, each one drawing resources, each one adding weight, each one changing your relationship with gravity and wind. Your shape transforms. You are no longer a solitary line pointing heavenward. You are becoming a living vessel. Your silhouette shifts from an exclamation point to a slender, open chalice. This new architecture is functional. More branches mean more leaves mean more sunlight captured. More sunlight means more strength. The wind's song changes when it passes through you. It is no longer a simple whistle past a single stem. It now rustles through multiple budding points, creating a softer, more complex harmony. You have begun to intercept the world, catching light, channeling rain, offering nascent perches. You are building the framework of your future self, limb by deliberate limb. The blueprint from the seed is now asserting itself in 3 dimensions, moving from potential to tangible form. Part 9. Birdsong lullaby. Spring returns with a fervor, and with it comes the urgent music of life seeking life. A flash of orange-red, a flutter of wings, and a sudden, light weight settles in the sturdy fork where your first branch meets your trunk. A pair of robins, their chests the color of dawn, assess the sight with sharp, turning heads. It is perfect, a secure crook, dappled shade from your young leaves, hidden from the direct sky. They set to work with frantic purpose. You feel the gentle, persistent tugging as they gather materials, dry grasses, twigs, soft moss from your base, even strands of your own shed bark. They weave it all together, shaping a neat, circular cup with an artistry born of instinct. The mother bird presses her breast into the center, rotating to mold the perfect hollow. Then, she settles. A warm, feathered weight rests in the very heart of your being. You become a guardian. Your leaves unfurl a little more to better shade the nest. Your branches grow a little sturdier to support it. When she leaves to forage, you stand sentinel. Soon, 3 perfect, blue-green eggs appear. Then, the miracle, tiny, blind, gaping beaks emerge, piping a constant, hungry chorus. Their need becomes your rhythm. Their first, damp feathers fluff under your watch. Their first wobbly hops from the nest's edge are taken from your branch. Their first, clumsy flights launch from you. You have done nothing but stand and be. Yet, you have provided shelter, safety, and a launching pad for new life. The soft peeping at dawn, the frantic flutter of returning parents, the triumphant first flight, these become the soundtrack of your season. You learn that to be a home is not to actively do, but to reliably be. You have given a gift simply through your stable, peaceful presence. The empty nest at season's end is not a loss, but a quiet badge of honor. Part 10. The summer storm. The air doesn't just warm, it simmers. It becomes thick, humid, and charged with a static energy that makes the hairs on every leaf seem to stand on end. The forest falls into a preternatural hush. The birds stop singing. This is not the patient gray of spring rain. This is the greenish-black bruise of a summer thunderhead rolling in with arrogant speed. The wind arrives not as a breeze, but as a wall. It hits you with a force you have never known, a roar that fills the universe. It is no longer a test, it is an assault. It screams through your new branches, bending you sideways at a terrifying angle. The world becomes a horizontal blur of leaves and flying debris. Then, the rain. It does not fall, it is driven. Hard, cold needles that sting your bark and shred the tenderest edges of your leaves. It is followed by the sound, a crack of thunder so immense it is less a sound and more a physical concussion of air that vibrates your very heartwood. The lightning that precedes it illuminates the world in a snapshot of apocalyptic fury, everything frozen in stark, white relief. You are in a battle for your very existence. The instinct to stand rigid against the onslaught is overwhelming, but the memory of flexibility screams louder. You surrender to the fury. You bend, you writhe, you flow with the wind's insane direction changes. Your roots are your only anchor, and you feel them strain in the sodden earth, every filament holding on with desperate strength. Leaves are ripped from your grasp, twigs snap with sounds like tiny bones breaking. It feels like an eternity of chaos. And then, as suddenly as it came, it passes. The roar recedes to a whimper, then a drip. The rain gentles to a mist. You are left battered, dripping, and standing. Around you, the forest is littered with casualties. A large branch from an old oak lies shattered, ferns are flattened. But you are whole. Your trunk is straight. You have lost leaves, but not limbs. You sway back to vertical, water streaming from you. In the profound, dripping silence that follows, you understand. You have been tempered. The storm did not come to destroy you, but to reveal what you were made of. You learned that the greatest strength is not found in unyielding hardness, but in the resilient suppleness that allows you to endure forces far greater than yourself. You are stronger for having danced with the storm and survived. Part 11, Autumn's Golden Kiss. A profound change whispers through the forest, not in sound, but in light and temperature. The sun's arc across the sky lowers, its once direct, blazing scrutiny softening to a long, slanting caress. This golden, honeyed light does not just illuminate, it transfigures. Within you, a silent chemical conversation begins, triggered by the lengthening nights and cooler air. The command is clear: prepare for rest. The vibrant green chlorophyll, the busy, life-making pigment that has dominated your leaves since spring, begins its slow retreat. Like a stagehand dismantling a set after the final show, it breaks down, revealing what was there all along, hidden beneath the uniform green or other pigments, carotenoids, yellows and oranges, and anthocyanins, reds and purples, the shy understudies waiting in the wings. As the green curtain lifts, they step into the spotlight. The change starts at the edges. A single leaf, high up and most exposed to the cool air, begins to blush a faint, buttery yellow at its serrated tip. The color seeps inward along the veins, like spilled gold. Soon, its neighbor follows. Then, it's an epidemic of brilliance. You are transformed from a canopy of green workmanship into a living flame. You burn with a calm, luminous light, a soft, buttery gold that seems to glow from within when the low sun shines through you. This is not a decay. It is a revelation and a conservation. You are pulling precious nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, back into your branches and roots before you let the leaves go. The dazzling color is partly a sunscreen, protecting the delicate retreat process from the still bright sun. You are not dying, you are strategically withdrawing, and in doing so, you are displaying your most beautiful, hidden self. You become a silent celebration of maturity and cycle, a torch held calmly against the advancing gray of the year. Part 12, the letting goth glorious gold deepens, then begins to brown at the edges, curling inwards like the pages of an old book held too close to a flame. The connection between leaf and stem, the abscission layer, completes its work. A wall of cork cells has formed, severing the flow of water and nutrients. The leaf is now a guest who has overstayed, its purpose fulfilled. A new wind arrives, cooler, drier, and more persistent than summer's breezes. It doesn't howl, it insists. It whispers the only lesson left: let go. Let go. A single leaf, a perfect papery parchment of brown veined with gold, trembles. It is attached by the merest thread of cellulose. The wind tugs. The thread parts with a silence you feel more than hear. The leaf does not simply drop. It embarks, it catches the air, turning over in a slow, spiraling waltz. It dips and rises, a final, graceful dance with the element that so often tested it. It brushes against your trunk in a silent farewell, then continues its lazy, swirling descent to join the others already carpeting the forest floor. Then another follows. And another. You release them all in a quiet, continuous ceremony. There is no struggle, no regret. This release is an act of wisdom. By letting go of these solar panels that would now freeze and become a liability, you conserve precious energy. The fallen leaves are not waste, they will become the blanket that insulates your roots from the coming frost and the compost that feeds you in future springs. You stand revealed. Your architecture, once hidden by a cloak of color, is now laid bare against the sky, an intricate, elegant sculpture of branching lines. You feel lighter, cleaner. You have learned the profound peace that comes not from accumulation, but from graceful release. You are ready for the inward silence to come. Part 13, winter's deep silence. Cold descends not as a chill, but as a solidifier. It locks the world in a crystalline grip. The first snow doesn't fall so much as settle, a silent, infinite descent of soft white. It clings to every angle of your bare branches, building delicate, weighted ridges. You are transformed into a ghost of yourself, a white sketch against the iron-gray sky. The silence is absolute. It is not an absence of sound, but a presence, a thick, muffling blanket that absorbs all vibration. The busy hum of insects, the rustle of creatures, the whisper of leaves, all gone. You can hear the blood rush of your own stillness inside. Your life has not stopped. It has contracted and concentrated. The sap in your veins has thickened to a near halt, retreating to the deepest, most protected core of your roots and the inner wood of your trunk. You enter a state of dormancy, not sleep, but a profound, energy-saving meditation. Your metabolism slows to a bare whisper. You are living on stored sunlight, on the sugar you banked during the golden days. This is the time of deep rest. Growth is not just paused, it is conceptually abandoned. Your entire being is focused on one task: conservation. To burn energy now is to risk death. So you wait. You practice the ultimate discipline of non-doing. The snow is both a burden and a blessing. Its weight tests the strength of the branches you grew in summer. Its insulative blanket protects your root zone from the killing freeze. You learn that in stillness, there is safety. In surrender, there is survival. The world is reduced to its simplest elements: black branch, white snow, gray sky. And in that stark simplicity, there is an unexpected, profound peace. Part 14, dreaming of pink clouds in the deepest, coldest heart of winter, when the world seems locked in monochrome permanence, a vision arises. It does not come from the outside, it blooms from within, from the very code written in your cells to eye in your dormant, meditative state, you dream. But this is no random dream. It is a genetic memory, a promise passed down through countless generations of cherry trees. You see your own bare branches. But they are not bare. They are frothy, overflowing, laden with dense clusters of softest pink. Each cluster is a bouquet of 5-petaled flowers, so delicate they seem made of cloud in sunrise. The vision is suffused with a soft, golden light and a faint, sweet scent that is the very essence of hope. You see the bees, their gentle drone, a vibration of life you can almost feel. You see a single, perfect petal detach and begin its slow, spiraling descent, the future petal rain. You feel, in your dreaming heartwood, a surge of joyful purpose. This vision is your true north. It is the reason for every storm endured, every leaf released, every silent winter born. It is the blossom, the culmination, the breathtaking payoff for the patient work of being a tree. This dream is not a fantasy, it is a premonition. It is the blueprint of your coming spring, held within you like a sacred scroll, keeping you warm with anticipation through the frozen dark. It teaches you that even in the deepest rest, the soul can be awake and dreaming of beauty. Part 15, Sap's rising song. The change begins underground, long before any visible sign appears. The sun's path climbs, minute by minute, day by day. Its rays, though still weak, gain a new persistence. They begin to loosen the frost's grip. Meltwater trickles down, finding the tiny fissures in the soil, seeking your waiting roots. The signal is chemical, subtle, and irresistible. Deep in your root tips, hormones stir. The message travels up. Now, the sap tide begins. It starts as a slow seep, then builds into a steady, upward surge. The stored sugars in your roots dissolve into water drawn from the thawing earth, creating a sweet, life-giving syrup. This sap is your lifeblood returning. You feel it as a gentle pressure, a warming, tingling ascent from your deepest anchor points, flooding the empty pathways of your xylem. It is a rising song moving against gravity, powered by the osmotic pull of your buds above and the push from your roots below. The buds that have been clenched tight as fists for months begin to swell. They grow glossy, tinged with red or green at their tips, heavy with the pent-up life inside. They are no longer just survival capsules. They are promises on the verge of being kept. The air still holds a winter bite, but within you, spring is already winning. The deep, cosmic switch has been flipped. The energy of the earth is flowing through you again, singing a silent, powerful hymn of renewal. You are no longer waiting. You are awakening. The great, quiet work of bud break is about to begin. Part 16, Swelling buds. The sap's rising song becomes a symphony you can almost hear. It pulses through you, a constant, gentle pressure filling every twig to its very tip. The buds along your branches, once hard and closed as pebbles, begin to change. They swell, fattening with the inner tide. Their tight, protective scales grow glossy, often taking on a tinge of rose gold or deep crimson at their edges, as if blushing with the secret they hold. They are no longer just parts of you, they feel like distinct, pregnant entities. Each one is a self-contained universe of potential, holding within its miniature form the precise instructions for a leaf, a flower, or a new branch. You can feel their weight now, a promise pulling gently at the ends of your limbs. The very shape of your silhouette softens, the sharp, black lines of winter blurring under this burgeoning fullness. The forest is still largely gray and brown, but you are becoming a tree of 1,000 jeweled tips, each one catching the strengthening light. This is a time of immense, quiet tension. The energy within you is no longer dormant, but it is not yet expressed. It is the deep breath held before the song, the coiled spring before the leap. Every cell is poised on the threshold. The world watches and waits. And within each glossy bud, the first green thought of the new year is dreaming itself into existence. Part 17, the grand unfolding. It begins with one brave bud at the tip of a sunward branch. A single, brown scale loosens, parts, and falls away. A flash of impossible green is revealed. Then, a hint of pink, so pale it seems imagined. This is the signal. Within days, it is an explosion of quiet joy. All over your canopy, the scales fall back like opening curtains. What emerges is not immediately a flower, but a cluster of tiny, green pedicels, each one cradling a tightly furled flower bud at its end. These clusters puff out, creating a soft, fuzzy haze around your branches. Then, the flowers themselves begin to relax. Each tiny, 5-petaled bud unfurls slowly, like a ballerina stretching her fingers. They open to the world as soft, crumpled whispers of pink and white, their centers a chaos of delicate stamens tipped with yellow pollen. The transformation is complete. You are no longer a tree of wood and bark. You are a living cloud. A fragrant, pink and white nebula caught in the branches. The air around you hums with your scent, a clean, slightly almond-like perfume that speaks of pure, fleeting beauty. You have become the vision you dreamed in the deep winter. You are fulfillment. Part 18, the bees blessing your perfume is a broadcast, a sweet signal flung into the spring air. It is answered. A low, gentle drone grows around you, the sound of industry and purpose. The first honeybee arrives, a tiny, fuzzy marvel of black and gold. It navigates the blizzard of petals with unerring accuracy, landing on an open flower. You feel the microscopic vibration as it clambers over the stamens, collecting pollen and the bristly baskets on its legs. In its thirst for nectar, it brushes against the sticky stigma in the flower's center, depositing pollen from a tree far away. This is not a theft. It is the most sacred of exchanges. You offer nectar, the distilled sweetness of the sun. In return, the bee performs the act of pollination, mingling your genetic essence with that of another tree across the forest. This tiny, buzzing visitor is the messenger of your future. As more bees arrive, the air thrums with their focused energy. You are the center of a vital, life-sustaining marketplace. You learn that your greatest gift, your beautiful, fragrant blossom, is not an end in itself. It is an invitation, a biological contract to ensure continuity. In serving the bee, you serve your own destiny. The promise of autumn fruit begins here, in this gentle, buzzing kiss. Part 19, the poet's bench. A human comes. Not hurried, not gathering. He is an old man with a kind face and a notebook. He sits on a weathered wooden bench that has long faced your part of the forest, but this is the first spring you have been tall enough, full enough, to be his subject. He sits in silence for a long time, just looking. Then, he writes. You can feel his quiet attention like a soft, warm light. He is not seeing you as wood or blossom, but as an idea of transience, of beauty, of peace. He captures in words what the bee captures in pollen, your essence. A gentle breeze shakes loose a shower of petals. They spiral down around him, catching in his gray hair and on the pages of his book. He looks up and smiles, a smile of pure, uncomplicated wonder. In that moment, you understand a new purpose. You are not just a biological entity. You are inspiration. You are a living poem that helps another soul feel connected to the world. You offer a beauty that quiets the human heart. Part 20, Petal Rain. The peak of the bloom is achingly brief. The petals, once taut and new, now grow delicate, almost translucent at their edges. Their connection to the stem weakens. They have done their glorious work of attraction, the bees have come and gone, the future fruits are set. A warmer, softer breeze rises, the spring zephyr. It doesn't blow, it sighs. And with that sigh, the first petal releases. Then 10. Then 1,000. Petal rain. It is not a fall, but a slow, pink snow. A silent, fragrant storm of softly spinning blossoms. They coat the ground, the bench, the moss, in a pastel carpet. The air itself seems pink. This is not death. It is the epilogue of the flower, a gesture of breathtaking generosity and release. Letting go at the height of beauty is its own kind of perfection. Standing in this self-made blizzard, you feel light, clean, unburdened. The energy turns inward again, away from showy display and toward the quiet work of nurturing the tiny, green cherries now beginning to swell where the flowers were. The grand performance is over. The gentle cleanup has begun. Part 21, Green again. The last petal settles. The pink haze lifts from your branches, revealing what was there all along, a new green world. Where each flower cluster hung, now a tiny, hard, green cherry forms, no bigger than a pea. And from the same nodes, new leaves rush forth. They are not the mature leaves of summer, but a brighter, more vibrant green, tender and full of eager energy. They unfurl rapidly, seeking to fill the space left by the blossoms. Within days, your transformation is complete. You are once again a tree of leaves, but it feels different. You are no longer just potential, you are purpose. Your role has shifted from attraction to nurturance. Every leaf is now a sun-powered factory working to pump sugars into the developing fruit. The gentle buzz of bees is replaced by the quiet, cellular work of growth. You wear your green mantle not as a simple uniform, but as a robe of responsibility. You are a mother tree now, your beauty turned inward to feed the future. Part 22, The Family's Tree. The small, hard green marbles you've been tending swell and blush, first with streaks of yellow, then with a deep, glossy red. Summer is high, and you are now a tree of plenty. They come, a family. A man, a woman, a small, laughing child. They spread a blanket in your dappled shade. The child points at you with a chubby finger, exclaiming at the red jewels among your leaves. The father lifts the child high. Small, careful hands pluck a ripe cherry. There's a moment of suspense, then a giggle as the sweet tart taste explodes. Juice stains the child's chin. The parents smile, sharing a quiet look. They eat, they laugh, they nap in your shade. You are not just part of the scenery anymore. You are a landmark of their joy, a provider of sweetness and shelter. You have become part of a human story, a memory in the making. You learn that your gifts extend beyond the forest community to these two-legged creatures. You offer sustenance, shade, and a place for happiness to gather. The cycle feels complete. From bee to human, the fruit of your spring labor is shared, connecting you to the wider world in a circle of giving. Part 23, The woodpeckers drum. The family's laughter has faded, the last cherry fallen or been picked. The deep, full green of late summer cloaks you in a mantle of contentment. It is in this quiet hour of the morning that a new, sharp rhythm cuts the stillness. Rat-a-tat-tat. Rat-a-tat-tat. It is not a song, but a percussive announcement. A flash of black, white, and brilliant crimson clings to your main trunk, a downy woodpecker. Its head is a blur of motion as its chisel-like beak strikes your bark with mechanical precision. The vibration travels through your core, a rapid, hollow drumming. This is not an attack. It is a search. The woodpecker is listening, its sharp senses attuned to the echo of its own drumming, seeking the faint, hollow sound that betrays a tunnel beneath your bark. It is hunting for the hidden larvae of wood-boring insects, creatures that could silently weaken you from within. You feel a brief, sharp prick as it finds its target and excavates a tiny hole, extracting a grub. Then, it moves on, spiraling up your trunk, inspecting, drumming, cleaning. This vibrant visitor is not a pest, but a physician. Its relentless tapping is a diagnostic tool, its appetite a cure. You stand still, accepting this brief, sharp ministrations. You learn that in the forest, help often comes in loud, sharp, and brilliant packages, and that true health sometimes requires a little necessary percussion. Part 24. The carved heart's ears have thickened your trunk, smoothing some wrinkles and deepening others. One afternoon, two new humans approach, not a family, but a pair of young lovers, their hands intertwined. Their energy is different, shy, giggling, charged with a secret intensity. They stop beneath your branches, looking around as if to ensure they are alone in the world. The boy pulls a small knife from his pocket. You feel a sudden, sharp sting as the blade bites into your bark, a sensation so alien and violating it sends a silent shock through your system, but the pain is brief. He is not hacking, he is carving. With careful, clumsy strokes, he etches two interlocking hearts, and inside them, their initials, J+A. The girl watches, her hand over her mouth, eyes shining. When he finishes, she touches the fresh, pale wound in your bark, her fingers tracing the grooves. Then they kiss, a promise sealed against your body. Their secret is now part of you. The initial sting of violation slowly melts into a different understanding. You have become a witness, a living ledger of love. The scar will heal, but it will remain, a keloid of human emotion etched into your skin. You bear the weight of their hope, a testament to a moment that for them, was forever. You learn that to be a landmark is sometimes to bear the marks of those who find sanctuary in your presence. Part 25. The old man's story. Seasons have turned over the carved hearts, the wood swelling slightly around them, softening their edges. The old poet still comes, but now he is frielier, leaning on a cane. He no longer writes. He simply sits on the bench, his wrinkled hand resting on your trunk, his eyes closed. He comes in all seasons. In spring, he breathes in your scent. In summer, he naps in your shade. In autumn, he watches your golden leaves fall. In winter, he sits bundled, gazing at your bare, elegant structure. He talks to you. Not in grand poetry, but in quiet, rambling monologues. He speaks of his late wife, of his children far away, of regrets and small joys, of a long life lived. His words are not absorbed by your leaves, but they seem to settle into the soil at your roots, a different kind of nutrient. You become his confidant, his silent, steadfast companion. When he does not come for many dawns, a quiet emptiness hangs over the bench. You understand your role has deepened. You are not just inspiration for a poem, but a witness to a life. You offer a constant, patient presence against which a human measured his own changing seasons. You learn that the deepest gifts are often silent, simply being there, stable and alive, for another soul to lean on. Part 26. The child's climb spring returns. A new child discovers you, a bold, adventurous one with scuffed knees. She sees not a tree, but a ladder, a fortress, a ship's mast. Her small, strong hands grasp your lowest branch, her feet find the familiar foothold of the carved hearts. Now worn smooth, you feel her weight, so different from a bird's or a squirrel's. It is a trusting, deliberate weight. She pulls herself up, and then she is in you, moving through your architecture as if it were made for her. She climbs higher, into the green cave of your summer leaves, her laughter filtering down like light. She builds an imaginary world in your branches. You are no longer just a tree. You are her castle, her jungle gym, her secret hideaway. Her energy vibrates through your limbs, not a violation, but an infusion of pure, playful life. You learn that to a child, a tree is not an object to be admired, but a universe to be experienced. You offer not just fruit or shade, but adventure and the simple, profound joy of climbing towards the sky. Part 27. The forest fire. The air becomes a curse. It is hot, dry, and carries a terrifying new scent, smoke. At first, it is a haze on the horizon, turning the sun into a malevolent orange coin. Then, the sky darkens at noon. The smell intensifies, acrid and suffocating. Fear, a primal emotion, screams through the sap in every tree in the forest. You see it then, a distant, glowing line in the underbrush, advancing with a low, hungry roar. Embers, carried on the searing wind, begin to fall like fiery rain. One lands in the dry moss at your base, another catches in the old robin's nest, now a tinder-dry tangled pain. A searing, consuming agony unlike anything you have ever known. Flames lick your lower bark, scorching, blackening. You are under attack from a force that does not test or prune, but annihilates. The memory of every drop of rain, every storm wind you bent with, floods you. This, you cannot flow with. This, you must endure. Firefighters come, strange giants in silver suits. They beat at the flames around you, spray you with cold, miraculous water. The fire passes over and around, leaving a world of charcoal and ash. You survive. But you are scarred. A blackened wound spirals up one side of your trunk. Many of your lower branches are skeletal, charred sticks. The pain is deep. Yet, from your deepest, most protected buds, from roots untouched by the heat, you feel a stubborn, undeniable pulse. You have been tested by the sun's own fury, and you held your ground. The lesson is one of raw survival and the tenacity of life that waits, even in the ashes. Part 28. 100 springs. The fire's scar has healed into a thick, wrinkled ridge, a badge of survival. You have seen countless cycles now. 100 springs have painted you pink and stripped you bare. 100 winters have dressed you in snow. Your trunk is broad and solid, your branches no longer reaching eagerly, but holding space with wise, spreading grace. You have seen generations of robins, squirrels, children, and poets. The bench has been replaced twice. The initials in your bark are a faint, white scar, a story almost forgotten. Time, which once felt linear, seed, shoot, blossom, fruit, now feels circular. Each spring is both a repetition and a unique miracle. You no longer rush to grow. You deepen. Your roots have found the bedrock, your crown knows the exact arc of the sun. You hold a silent, timeless perspective. The frantic struggles of the sapling, the glorious drama of first bloom, the pain of the fire, all are layers in your being, all equally part of the whole. You are the embodiment of cycle and return. You have learned the deepest peace, that of being a steady, graceful note in the endless song of the forest. Part 29, The seed's journey. A perfect, plump cherry, grown in the high sun of your crown, finally parts from its stem. It does not fall straight down, but is carried by a thrush that is feasted upon it. The bird flies across the meadow, over the stream. Inside the bird, the hard seed within the fruit survives the journey. Later, far from your sight, the seed is deposited in a patch of soft, new earth near the water. It is buried by hooves, by rain, by time. As you feel the autumn sap retreat once more, you feel a faint, impossible echo, a tiny, familiar spark of life igniting in the darkness, far away. The cycle does not end with you. It extends. Your legacy is not just in your scars or your shade, but in this dispersal. A part of you is now beginning its own story, carrying your essence to a new patch of earth. Letting go is not an end, but a propagation of life. You have become the ancestor. The last part of the story, roots and stars. Your great, gnarled roots are not just in the earth, they are the earth now, woven into the bedrock, holding the hill together. Your highest twigs touch the first stars of evening. You are no longer a thing separate from the world. You are a nexus. A meeting point. Water from deep aquifers rises through you to become leaf and blossom. Sunlight from a distant star is captured by you and turned into food for insects, birds, and humans. Stardust and bedrock converse in your cells. You breathe with the forest. You feel the mycelial internet humming with news between trees. You feel the planetary pull of the moon on the water in your veins. You are a station in the great exchange, between earth and sky, between past and future, between solidity and light. There is no more struggle, only participation. You have lived every story, the dreaming, the breaking forth, the blooming, the burning, the witnessing, the releasing. Now, you simply are. A silent, profound, and utterly complete note in the cosmic symphony. You are the cherry tree. You have always been. You will always be. And so, we gently return from that world to this one. I truly hope that story brought you comfort and a feeling of calm. If it helped you relax and unwind, it would mean so much if you could let me know by giving the video a like. It's the best way to support the channel. If you're new and would like to join us for more daily journeys like this, please consider subscribing. And I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me, what is your perfect cozy escape? Until next time, I wish you a restful night and the sweetest of dreams.